Who's the champ of foolish fame? Let's crown the buffoon of the week by name. Comic crown and a goofy streak. The title goes to our champ this week.
Ladies and gentlemen and everybody else in between, class is back in session. Welcome back to Buffoonology 101. Gene Baradelli and Ross Galloway here with you. Ross, where the fuck have you been?
Mission top secret, destination unknown. I can't say.
So, I mean, given that it was about 2 weeks off, that would be like, what, 80 hours of community service? Something like that?
Truth be told, I was traveling throughout the Northeast, and I do not miss it there.
Well, we certainly miss you up here. And, yeah, I mean, everybody's had things to do. I had some work stuff I had to do, so I basically canceled the whole week just so I can deal with an order to show cause for oh god, this client. Anyway, I don't want to get into that too much because that breaks attorney-client confidentiality. But we do have some business to tend to from a couple of weeks ago. We left the people hanging on the results of the last Buffoonology 101 battle between AOC, that was your pick to remind everybody, and my pick, Andrew Cuomo. And it was pretty damn tight, but in the end, my winning streak is over. Ross Galloway, with close to 56% of the vote, took charge again, and he won with AOC. So congratulations to you, pal, on winning a pretty interesting battle here. It was a very tight matchup.
And I do appreciate that, by the way. So, like we were mentioning before the show, AOC is usually a very good pick. But AOC kind of fell out of the news for the last couple of weeks, so I kind of got lucky that we squeezed her in because Cuomo's back. Like I wouldn't be surprised if you don't pick him again.
Weirder things have happened.
Foreshadowing.
Just a little bit of numbers for the folks here. Because this was like a 4th of July battle, it was a shortened weekend. 86 votes tallied, so not one of our higher vote tallies, but they were coming in fast and furious. But the viewership, pal, it broke all records. Between YouTube, Rumble, Parler, and the short videos we did, all told, close to 6,000 views across the board and across platforms.
Very nice, guys. Get a life, though. What are you watching us for? Nah, I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it.
You got better things to do than us, guys, right?
For real. Unless they're drinking while they're doing it, then that's cool.
You know what? We got to make a drinking game. We need to make a drinking game. It'll be like different squares, like well played, Gene, or, ladies and gentlemen, everybody in between, or, cocky duty poopy head and things like that.
For those of you guys who've known us for a while, we used to drink during the show a lot, and then we had to take like a few-year break.
just to let our livers heal. What we had to do.
Okay. This explains so much.
We were both in danger of losing our livelihoods, so we had to take a break.
a little bit of a break. And now we're back stronger than ever. We're doing Buffoonology 101. And it's time for another battle here. Galloway's going to be in control. But before we get to who's going first and who's got what pick and whatever, let's check out the rules for this little, I don't know, let's call it this little funny game show / lab of buffoonery that we call Buffoonology 101. Before the show, Ross and I have each selected our nominee to present to you for Buffoon of the Week. Each host will have 5 minutes to make their case to you as to why their nominee should earn your vote. The first 2 minutes will be uninterrupted by the other host, but after that, it's a free-for-all between the two discussing the nomination. The opposing host will then evaluate the nominee based on the criteria set forth in my award-winning best-selling book, Schnooks, Crooks, Lies, and Scoundrels, a field guide to identifying political buffoons, available right now on Amazon, at Barnes & Noble, and other online bookstores.
This guy is a grifter!
The nominee will then be given a score for buffoonish nature and buffoonish action magnitude on our Sharpton Buffoonery Matrix. But more on that later. After that, we do it all over again for the other nominee. After all the nominees have been weighed and measured, each host will then have 1 minute to plead and beg for your vote for Buffoon of the Week. you'll get to vote online in the comments and on social media and at Buffoonology.com. Vote early and vote often. No one's going to be counting whether you voted more than once. And now, back to the action. All right, so that's how the game goes. And because, Ross, you won, it was like 2 weeks ago? Whenever it was, since you won the last time, you have control. You get to choose who goes first and who goes second.
Give me the bowl. I'm going first.
You see, that would be on the bingo card. That could fit on the card as well. Bingo.
Gene, I'm taking a gamble again, and I'm nominating a Republican again. Attorney General Pam Bondi. Let's look at what she said in February before I go on my rant.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So have you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, we'll check back with you.
Now, to give her some credit there, she hedged her bets a little bit that she didn't see nothing yet. Right? But before I fully go on the rant, Gene, play this next short clip.
White logs tied to accused sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein have been released to some conservative political commentators. They walked out of the White House holding binders labeled the Epstein files. Now, it's not clear what's inside the binders and whether they'll be released to other media outlets. President Trump signed an executive order ordering that the files be released, but Attorney General Pam Bondi says the FBI hasn't turned over everything, and she's expecting more files tomorrow. Epstein was known for socializing with billionaires, celebrities, and royalty. He was awaiting trial on federal charges when he was found dead in his cell in 2019.
All right, so ignore the Democrats and ignore the right-wing paid influences out there. This is a message from MAGA. She said those files were on her desk. That's undeniable. She gave binders to right-wing influencers, and the name of the binder was the Epstein Files Phase 1. By the way, Gene, I'm glad we didn't go pick up our set of binders back when she was giving those things out. Epstein didn't kill himself now, or maybe he did. But if he did, why? If this is a hoax, why? Why did he kill himself? Ghislaine Maxwell is in jail. Why? Now there's no client list, and there's no blackmail scheme. But they can't release the victims' names because they have to protect the victims. Victims of what? Victims of who? Pam Bondi is a failure, Gene. She's a lightweight. We should have had Matt Gaetz. I said that from the beginning. I know everybody was against me when I said that. 6 months into this administration, there's no Epstein files. There's no high-profile arrests yet. We keep hearing that they're coming. This isn't going away. MAGA loves a good conspiracy theory. And this is the modern age moon landing hoax of conspiracy theories. Pam Bondi, Buffoon.
All right, let me jump in. I'm a little early, but I'm going to jump in here anyway.
Jump in.
I think this too, but I also think that people misunderstood a lot of things. Pam Bondi said that things were on her desk. Every attorney says, "Oh yeah, that's on my desk. I'm ready for it." Is it wrong to do? Is it buffoonish to do? Certainly. But I don't find any buffoonery in that. I do find buffoonery in the whole dog and pony show of, we're going away Epstein Files Phase 1. Where is Phase 2? We'd love to know about that. And yes, this does lend to conspiracy theories. But what about the conspiracy theory that between Election Day and Inauguration Day, that documents were secreted away or destroyed or things like that, and it wouldn't necessarily be Pam Bondi's fault? Again, she never said she had the list. The reporters on Fox News, John Roberts, asked if she had the list, and she said the file's on my desk.
Okay.
I don't know if I can fault her at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't fault her either if she came out and did a press conference tomorrow and said, I fully intended on complying with President Trump's order back in February and March. However, the FBI destroyed the files before we took office, right? And now so-and-so is arrested and will face prosecution for that, right? There's no explanation. You can't just turn around now and say, what list? What client list? What blackmail scheme? Oh, but there's victims, right? You can't do that, Gene. Sorry. You can't say, well, it was on my desk. I didn't see anything outlandish there. Or, yeah, we saw the videos like Kesh Patel and Dan Bongino. We saw the videos in the jail, and there's a minute missing, but that's normal. The tape always misses a minute when it records every 24 hours. Get the fuck out of here, man. No one's believing this stuff. Someone's got to go to jail. Still, no one of any rank has been prosecuted or even charged at this point in the administration. And I blame Pam Bondi.
And I get that. I also get that a lot of the information is sealed under a court order, and even the attorneys like Alan Dershowitz is under a gag order, can't talk about it. So there are things outside DOJ's control that they don't have. And I'm not trying to be an apologist for Pam Bondi. I just think that there is more than what meets the eye going on here, and I don't necessarily. I think the jury should. I think the jury should still be out on Pam Bondi. Just one man's opinion.
Well, I'm one of 12 angry men. We already found her guilty. Done.
All right. I mean, listen.
Bring back Matt Gaetz, bro. Matt Gaetz wouldn't have let this happen.
You know what? I am not so.
Listen, Gene, not for nothing. One more quick thing. I'm sorry. You got George Santos about to turn himself into jail for 7 years. Go. Right? And no one on the left is going to jail. Get out of here,
stop
man.
the clock. Stop the clock. We're talking about George Santos. He admitted he's guilty. Oh, you always got to do this with the George Santos bullshit. Oh God, whatever. You know what? Whatever, man. You want to rattle my cage, man? Jesus H. Christmas.
You defend Jeffrey Epstein and Pam Bondi, but George Santos, that's too far. That's a bridge
nobody. I'm not defending nobody. It's not burden proof. Hey, listen. The misogynist is taking up for Pam Bondi. So that's what I am, right? That's what you call me.
Well, she's a white lady. Oh!
Got him!
You know what? I'm going on to something more productive than this conversation. And I want to talk about our first and greatest sponsor, Freedom Chat. We do have a new sponsor. Say hello to Freedom Chat. It is a brand new messenger app for people like you and me and Mr. Galloway here who value our freedom of speech and value our right to privacy. The team over at Freedom Chat has released their app for both iPhone and Android in its alpha version. By the way, do you know what alpha version means, by the way, pal? I recently learned this.
It's funny because I've only heard of beta.
Yeah, well, you would.
Now we're even.
Alpha, me, is basically the first version out. It's brand new out of the box. And right now, me and Ross are kicking the tires on it, giving suggestions on what we want to see in it. We've talked to them about, chat features, and we talked about sharing high resolution video, and a lot of doing polls, like for Buffoonology 101. And we're being told that these suggestions are being taken very seriously, and they are in the offing. So that's pretty cool. This is why I want you guys to all download Freedom Chat on your phones, whether it's Android or iPhone. It's a faster app. I think we've both seen that. It's certainly more intuitive as far as using it. And Freedom Chat takes your privacy very seriously. They have end-to-end encryption that they actually showed me the back end of and was very impressive, even for someone who doesn't know anything about tech like me. They actually be able to explain it very succinctly. And your data is not mined. It's not being sold off. Your privacy is respected and not up for the highest bidder. And of course, the best part about Freedom Chat is that your boys are on it with our Buffoon of the Week channel, where we can give you behind-the-scenes content. We can give you some insider deals on what's going on in our shop, or an article coming down the pike, or just send a message, showing behind-the-scenes stuff and exclusive content that you won't find anywhere else. Pal, what do you think of it so far? I know it's still
I think it's fantastic. I mean, you made a joke earlier. I think it's fantastic. Gene is obviously the more tech savvy of the two of us, and I had no issues, downloading it and getting started and finding our group and everything else. And I'm having a blast on it. What I've noticed is It has all of the most popular features of other messaging type apps that, the popular ones that people like, but it's all in one spot, and it's only going to continue to get better. So I'm very glad we started early on because I'm really liking this.
Yeah, it has all the features of some of those other popular messenger apps, but none of the surveillance tools that will spy on you and get your data. So head on over, guys, to freedomchat.com, download the app wherever you download your apps for your Android or iPhone, and find Buffoon of the Week on it. We have a channel there. Join us, subscribe for bonus content you won't find anywhere else. Hey, that was a pretty smooth ad read there, pal. It's almost like we've been doing
it, man. That was good. It's actually truthful, though.
And that's the thing. The truth is easy to talk about. And we welcome our friends from Freedom Chat.
It's a very clean app. There's no it's very clean. I like simple.
This we know. Anyway, folks, we've come to the part of the show where Ross has given his nominee, and it's now my turn to score that nominee on our patented Sharpton buffoonery matrix. To understand what we're going to be talking about now and how to rate a buffoon, you need to learn about two different things, and those are called the buns and the bams. Let's talk buns.
My buns!
No, not those. And definitely not those. I'm talking about our personal buffoonish nature. A decade of collective observations has shown that everyone, to some degree, has a bun. You, me, everybody. The size of their buns is directly related to a buffoon's propensity to do stupid things.
Look at the size of that thing.
And then there's bam, 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 buffoonish action magnitude. That's our measurement of how big a whoopsie a buffoon made. The bigger the mistake, the greater the magnitude. We then plug these values into our Sharpton buffoonery matrix, named for the alpha and omega of buffoonery, the Reverend Al Sharpton.
Modern problems require modern solutions,
which is our visual representation of a buffoon's bum to bam ratio. And here's the best part. After we tally up the worst offenders, you decide. You get to cast your vote, share your thoughts, and you determine who earns the dubious distinction of Buffoon of the Week, which we'll record as the weeks go by. All right, so Galloway once again breaks the 11th commandment and goes after a Republican. I'm starting to notice a pattern here, pal, and I'm worried about your voter registration status. I don't know what happened when you moved out of here. You used to be on board with Republicans, and now you do nothing but hate on them.
We got to clean house, Gene. We have to clean house.
Why do you hate yourself and project it onto other people? Is that what's going on here?
You know damn well this is a good pick. Don't even try it.
It's an okay pick. I was certainly considering it myself during the week. Pam Bondi, to me, I liked the pick, and I understand she had experience as the Florida Attorney General, but I will always associate Pam Bondi with sort of that Hannity wing of attention-seeking lawyers out there that go on talk shows to show that they know things. And it seems like by appointing her Attorney General, people have pulled her punk card to see if she actually is ready for prime time. She seemed to do well in Florida. And right now, at least for this part, I'm not so sure. So while her bun isn't as huge as other offenders that we talk about here on the show, it gets a little bit of a boost for being associated with the Joe DeGeneres of the world and the Leo Terrells of the world on TV, just yapping about using their law degree as authority to speak politics, when one really has nothing to do with the other. So Bondi gets a 62 out of me. She's normally a very serious person, but she has that proclivity to chase headlines and to seem to want to be the gotcha on a political level, not a legal level. So 62 on the bun. On the bam, I think you nailed it earlier on in your presentation, saying that this news concerning Jeffrey Epstein is drowning out just about every other piece of news in political media today. And it's been going on for a very long time. Bondi's lack of clarity in that interview with Fox News, talking about that it was on her desk. Well, what was on your desk? Is it a client list? Did a client list even ever exist? Or is it just names in sworn testimony by quote-unquote victims that remain sealed and under a gag order that even the DOJ can't get? And to me, this is a classic example of overpromising, under-delivering. She may be out of her depth at the job here. So I want to give this a significant Sharpton-esque bam. And for me, it's a shade under 30 gigasharptons. We're going 28.89 gigasharptons. The number has absolutely no significance to me whatsoever. Just plucked out of the air. So those are my scores, pal. 62 and 28.89 gigs. What are you thinking?
I got to be honest, man. I zoned out after you said something. The scores are fine. I mean, I'm not worried about the scores. You said something fairly brilliant, and I hope the audience remembers this in the future. You should flag this episode. You coined a new term, and we should warn our fellow Republicans to stay the hell out of the Hannity wing of this party. Brilliant, Gene. Love it.
I had to say something, and yeah, when you make things up on the fly, sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss. This one hit, it seemed like. All right, so that takes care of Galloway's nominee. Now it's time to tell you about the eventual winner of Buffoon of the Week this week, and that's my nominee. All right, folks. I tried the last time we did this by nominating Andrew Cuomo as Buffoon of the Week because of the 44-point swing that happened in the primary for the Democrats in the People's Republic of New York City for mayor. He spent $25 million, had campaign finance problems. We went through the whole gamut. And a sane human being would have taken that on the chin, realized what was going on, read the room, and gone home. But not Andrew Cuomo. He says that he is in it to win it. Let's play this clip of Andrew Cuomo's announcement that he is re-entering the race for mayor of the city of New York.
Hello, I'm Andrew Cuomo. And unless you've been living under a rock, you probably know that the Democratic primary did not go the way I had hoped. To the 440,000 New Yorkers who voted for me, a sincere thank you. Thank you for believing in me, in my agenda, and in my experience. And I am truly sorry that I let you down. But as my grandfather used to say, when you get knocked down, learn the lesson and pick yourself back up and get in the game. And that is what I'm going to do. The fight to save our city isn't over. Only 13% of New Yorkers voted in the June primary. The general election is in November, and I am in it to win it. My opponent, Mr. Bondi, offers slick slogans, but no real solutions. We need a city with lower rent, safer streets, where buying your first home is once again possible, where childcare won't bankrupt you. That's the New York City we know. That's the one that is still possible. You haven't given up on it, and you deserve a mayor with the experience and ideas to make it happen again, and the guts to take on anyone who stands in the way. Every day I'm going to be hitting the streets, meeting you where you are, to hear the good and the bad, problems and solutions. Because for the next few months, it's my responsibility to earn your vote.
Inspiring, wasn't it? Did you see all of the staged meet and greets? I mean, random black guy in a white pickup truck on the streets of the People's Republic of New York City just happens to stop so Andrew Cuomo can dab him up. The whole first part of the video was talking about how he failed, how he lost. And he was reading it off of like a prompter, the way that he was speaking so stiltily, and just was no charisma, no energy. We talked about low energy Biden. How about low energy Andrew? Clearly, the Mamdani loss took a beating on him. But since we're looking at videos of Andrew Cuomo's re-entry, this one takes the cake. Imagine this being a real scene that occurred somewhere in Manhattan. Talk about Johnny on the spot. Andrew Cuomo just happens to be around driving, by the way, driving on his own with his own vehicle, helping some poor, look like some minority younger person with jumping their car. Now, we've seen videos like this before with Mike Pence trying to pump his own gas and not really being able to pump it. This is Andrew Cuomo trying to jump a car by putting the negative part of the wires on first instead of clamping that to the vehicle, doing the positive first. And he could have literally set this car on fire, Galloway, in that video. It's a miracle that it didn't happen. But, you know, Andrew Cuomo, he's just like you and me.
Yeah.
Jumping cars in the middle of Manhattan.
But I just want to, for the record, you picked him twice now, right? I'm trying to get that out of the
row,
way.
actually.
All right. I just want, for the record. Gene, you think he's trying to get the black vote? I don't know. He's walking through the streets giving daps and pounds and all kinds of crazy handshakes. By the way, with that car, Gene, where was his battery? Because his car was the back of his car was to the front of the other person's car. So unless his battery is located in the trunk of his car, which I don't know what kind of cars do that,
or he had one of the longest set of jumper cables in the history of ever done.
It was so fake. It was a one-way street. He wasn't double parked next to her, and he didn't nose in front of her. So how could you jump the car? As someone who's had a lot of crappy cars and had to jump, I think you had to jump my car once or twice. That's not the way you do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly not the way to do it. And people have commented on the video about how he didn't know how to do this. This is all kinds of levels of political narcissism here. He is so blissfully unaware of how disliked and disfavorable his ratings are right now that he's re-entering this race that he has no hope of winning, by the way, in a field where him, Eric Adams, and Curtis Lewa are going after the same group of votes. But putting aside the political nature of this whole thing, the hilarity of everyman Andrew Cuomo in his, older Italian male button-down leisure shirt, being around Manhattan where he doesn't live, and just, like you said, dabbing up people in cars driving by and taking selfies with little old ladies. All of it totally natural.
And bro, for our viewers who are not from New York or don't really follow New York politics, he wasn't just like a failed governor. He resigned not long ago in disgrace. Right? Like this guy has some set of balls to come back and try to run for mayor of New York City.
Yeah, it's clear that he hasn't really sworn off his touchy-feely ways, considering that he resigned into disgrace because of alleged sex abuse scandals. But there he is with women, touching and shaking hands and whatever, so he can do his thing. It's pure narcissism. Andrew Cuomo is running for the sake of running for his own ego, and that's the way he's always been. The man is just complete political narcissist and a cocky duty poopy head that needs to be this week's Buffoon of the Week.
Gene, I'm actually glad you picked this guy again, Andrew Cuomo. I saw those videos, and I saw the videos before you played them, and the cringe factor was so high that I was debating on picking him this week, but I didn't have the balls to do it, back to back since you did it. But since you have no face, you have no problem doing stuff like that. So I appreciate it.
Now we even.
But let me say on the score, man, because I'm going to be super fair with you. Normally, guys, when we talk about a bun, like a buffoonish nature, I told you my philosophy on this is like your body of work over time. Once you're in the 80s, it's very hard to up your score, right? Because it's the body of work, the average it's hard to raise it. So usually one act can't raise your previous score. And he was already the highest, right? I'm going to give him another one, man. You had 83 last week. We're bumping it up to 84. This set of videos was so cringy that, for me, just watching this right now, it brought back so many bad memories where if he just went away, he would clearly not be the biggest buffoon of our lifetime. But he's like on a trajectory to be in the history books as far as political nerds who like this thing, right? If you live in Iowa, you probably don't care about it.
Yeah, you know what? I kind of feel like he has adopted the Anthony Weiner path. He's going to be one of these people that's going to be around a lot.
He's still young-ish, right? And he obviously has a huge ego. Nothing shakes this guy. And like his own brother got a little more humble. Andrew got worse. Chris Cuomo, a little more humble. Andrew Cuomo doubling down. Just an idiot.
Yeah, and like me, no pride. I picked him 2 weeks in a row, so or maybe an overabundance of pride. Maybe his ego is just too much to bear here.
All right, now let me just switch over to the BAM here. Now, for me personally, I hate pandering. I especially hate racial and sexual pandering, right? The Democrats are always doing that sort of thing. But Andrew Cuomo just faked a video of him walking through the streets in New York City, like you said, in an Italian shirt, probably a gold chain hanging out with some chest hair, giving black people pounds and pats on the back and daps. Like, come on, dude. That was so horrific to watch. It was embarrassing. As an Italian formerly from New York, that was embarrassing, right? You can talk to black people and not do that hand thing, right? You can shake a black man's hand like a regular person, right? I don't know why he did that. Very Sharpton-esque. The definition of Sharpton-esque, really, right? Pandering, racial stereotypes. So I'm maxing him out, Gene. He's the highest there too. It was so astonishingly cringeworthy that I'm giving him 113 gigasharpens. I never want to see it again.
Oh my goodness! So
it wasn't even funny to watch. It was painful to watch.
So to be clear, that is the highest bun and the highest BAM in the history of this show,
and well deserved for now.
Wow!
I don't think he's going away, Gene. You're going to have this guy again. The election's not till November.
And who knows about any gubernatorial run? Please, God, I don't want.
Mark my words, please mark this tape, people. Forget about gubernatorial runs. That man, after watching that video, still thinks he can be president of the United States. I'm telling you this.
Well, if he's going to want to be president of the United States, he needs to get a better video crew. Because my God, no music behind you and just you reading off of a prompter or whatever. Oh, it was the worst.
Painful.
All right. The nominees have been presented to you all. And now it's time for us to go into our 1 minute closing statement, let's call it, in order to plead and beg for your vote for this week's Buffoon of the Week. Ross, you get to go first because you've been in control. You have 1 minute from whenever you're ready.
As usual, I don't need the whole minute. I usually get my points across fairly quickly. Gene, in typical Gene fashion, is recycling picks and building from the last time we did this. Don't be surprised if he doesn't pick Andrew Cuomo a third time when I beat him this week, right? So, I mean, we'll push Gene aside. Pam Bondi is a buffoon. She's in over her head, like Gene even admitted. She's part of the Hannity wing of the Republican Party, an attention seeker, no great legal scholar. She was elected Attorney General in Florida. Any blonde woman lawyer in Florida that is a Republican can become the Attorney General of Florida. Let's not say she was like, a Supreme Court potential nominee in the future, right? She's in way over her head. She said these things were on her desk. She obviously didn't know what she was talking about, or she did, and she's covering up now. Either way, that's buffoon worthy. She is the buffoon of the week.
And go.
All right. You know what? It's one thing to break the 11th commandment time and time and time again, like Galloway does. But did you just hear him go so hard in the paint against Pam Bondi there? Is that the voice of a real Republican, I ask you? But let's push Galloway aside. He wants to push me aside. We're throwing him off camera right now. We just scored the buffoon with the highest bun and highest BAM in the history of this show. A seismic occurrence here. Andrew Cuomo, how can we miss you if you just won't go the fuck away? Well, you know what? I want to give you all an extra incentive for voting for Andrew Cuomo. Go to shop.buffoonology.com. Check out our brand new, and I'm going to put it on the screen right now, Cuomo for Jail t-shirt, and use promo code PRNYC for extra 10% off your purchase. That's all I have to say. He's your Buffoon of the Week. And there you have it. I had to use a little grift there.
I like it.
Gotta get my grift going. By the way, these shirts are awesome. We just released them. We released it first on Freedom Chat, by the way, so check that out as well. That's what you get, those perks on Freedom Chat. So as of right now, the nominees have been submitted. The polls are now open. Who you got, America, for this week's Buffoon of the Week? I'm glad you used my line about the Hannity wing of buffoonery there. You like that?
Gene, I can give you credit where credit is due. Just don't pick them again next week, please.
You know what? I will pick whoever the hell I want.